International investigators Eric and Helena are uncovering Ukraine's most shameful secret: the abuse and neglect of disabled people. Look into these cots and you see the smothered potential and stunted growth of lives stolen by a state system that is stuck in the past. These are not children. They're young men in their 20s or 30s.
What you have here is failure to thrive, because this is this person's life. Inside this crib, this is all of the stimulation he has. This person is dying a slow death in this bed.
Here's an evacuee from the fighting in the east, but his suffering long predates the invasion.
Oh my God. This is his ribs. This is his ribs hanging out. To have this kind of lack of development, that is a product of many years of neglect. His skin and bones.
These places are relics of the Soviet era, long since left behind by other countries. But the director here says Ukraine still needs them.
This is the situation as it is. I'm sure that for these children, instead of being in dysfunctional families where they could be uncared for, without food, here we have all the essentials. We don't need material support, but we definitely need advice from doctors or other organizations, because I understand nothing is ideal.
An hour away. Another institution with its own sights and sounds. This is Vasyl, a teenager, wearing a nappy tied to a bench. And he's not the only one who's been restrained and left. There are signs. The staff can't cope. They went from 10 residents to 52 overnight, taking in those escaping the war. Like Victor, having physiotherapy to unravel his gnarled limbs. Rigid from years of institutional neglect. It's another painful illustration of a system that can seem rough and uncaring. 3 hours after we arrived, Vasyl's still tied down. He wants to be free, and his frustration is growing. Vasyl, like so many in these places, is not an orphan. His parents want to see him. But not many, as he mentioned. Vasyl's mum and dad told him to give him up when he was 5. He's now 18.
If we lived in the UK, our son would probably live with us. We love our country and proud to be Ukrainian, but we need to have this support from our state. We would like to have better conditions and more staff, of course, but this is the reality.
The reality for generations of young Ukrainians, their parents, the staff, everyone persuaded these institutions are where disabled people belong.
This is remote, even by institutional standards.
Deeper into the country, we get a vision of what Vasyl's future could be. A home for disabled adults from which there is no escape. They'll spend the rest of their lives here. Like Antonina, who's 26, tied down by staff in a system devoid of humanity. The nurse says there's nothing she can do to help Antonina. She says, unfortunately, nature has decided their fate. And it's this system that looks Natasha in the eye and says, this is all you're worth. The doctor says they have a bath once a week, but there aren't enough staff to take everyone outside. And down the corridor, we find Lesha, who does something we would not believe.
So whenever he's unattended or his hands are not restrained, he takes his eyes literally out. She says that this is a big problem for her. She has to either carry him around after her or just constantly be watching him. But she's watching 2 rooms.
2 rooms, 12 people to watch, and a shift that is 24 hours long. And next door, there's more desperate need. The staff are consumed by the hopelessness of an unfeeling system that reduces life to this. We've seen children in distress, some of them clawing their own eyes.
Це, мабуть, друга копуса Льоша.
He does it all the time, and it's not the first time he has shocked people.
Do you think they're actually feeling pain?
Yes.
And you're not doing anything to help?
We try to help them. It doesn't mean that we are doing nothing, but our abilities are very limited. We are not able to change either the situation or a patient. They are as they are.
And there it is, the stubborn shadow of a Soviet system, still darkening these places, and the mindset that sustains them 30 years after Ukraine's independence. A mindset that could damage its hopes of joining the European Union.
It's intolerable. Ukraine